Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your Sunday show. Glad to have you guys here on May 4th, 2025. Thank you for tuning in. Uh, you see these markets? Mark where they are right now. Take a good look at it. 41,317. That's pretty good considering all the things that have happened lately. Uh, that's a pretty high market considering everything that's transpired. But this ain't over by a long shot, and it's going to take a number of months now at this point. But we're on that tippy, slippery slope right now, and the deflationary action, which is actually disinflationary action at this point, uh, it's not going to taper back. It's going to increase. And at the same time, we still have this springboard effect of everything you need out there is causing is causing like a stagflationary environment, and this is going to push the whole thing to where people start to lose their jobs. People that work at ports and stuff, where there's going to be a lot of jobs lost there. There's going to be a lot of job loss coming in now at this point. And it's going to be a sagging economy with increasing inflation on everything you need. And people are going to stop buying the things they don't need. It's just a total mess. So look at these numbers where they are right now for the stock market. This is as good as it's going to get, guys, until this is repaired somewhat. You know, uh, so the stock market it's at 41,317. Let's take a look at the price of silver. Silver is at 31.96 right now. What's happening in the world? Uh, Comes out now. Just what I've been telling you guys. Says Trump in a new interview he says now. It's highly unlikely that military force will be needed to make Canada the 51st state. In other words, read between the lines, guys. Read between the lines. This is what you got to do here. This hasn't gone away just because I knew it. I was sitting back there and for like a month there, he never said nothing about any of it. The 51st state stuff, all of that. Waiting for the uh, economic poison to set in to Canada. That's what he's waiting for right now. And he says, but now he says highly unlikely military force. That's still not a no. It's just like pushing it off a little bit while they're waiting. I'm telling you, Canada, by gosh, I'm telling you, this is the time. See, this is the time. This is the time it happens. The Earth seems to go through these cycles, and it goes into a war cycle. It did around 1914. For the first Great War, World War One. The world started to go into this aggressive war cycle, and it did it in the 1940s. Again in World War Two, and we're at the stage right now that we were in World War Two just before Pearl Harbor. That's where we're at right now. Right? And, I mean, on the circles of people out here, they never want to get the people upset, get the people riled up and stuff. So they but behind closed doors at the Pentagon and stuff, they know what's going on. You don't. They know what's going on. I'm just giving you a little bit of insight into what's going on here because of certain things they're doing. Like when he wants, for national security reasons, he wants this northern passage through the Arctic. It's all got to do with wartime preparations for national security. That's the high ground between Russia and the United States of America is the Arctic. It's just on the north side of Canada. See, most people look geographically that when they look at the whole thing, they say, "Hey, you know what? The Russia's over there on the other side of the ocean." They look east to west. But they don't look north to south. You can go directly north, just fly over the pole, and there's Russia right on the other side. That's the closest place. That's where the missiles come. If there was a World War III, the missiles are going to fly right over that area. So how do you stop them? You have to have your defenses set up in that area. That's the high ground. That's where missiles are going to fly in both directions if World War III starts. So control over that area is of utmost importance. And how do you control that area? Well, you need Greenland, and you need the Yukon, and you need the northern part, Nunavut, and those areas up there in the north, and part of Canada. So it's Canada and Greenland. And what does he want? Canada and Greenland. But what else does he want? He wants the Panama Canal, Suez Canal. Why? Is because that's where the ships go in World War III. That's where the ships would need to get troops through. That's exactly what they want. See? And so because these are national security interests, well, when it comes to world war, they don't let nothing much stand between them and national security interests. I'll tell you that much. Now, I'm just stating facts here for you guys. Now, taking a look. What about this war with Iran? The United States get into a war with Iran. Well, they got into a full-scale war with the Houthis, and the Houthis are much smaller than Iran, much weaker, or quite a bit smaller and weaker. They're just a satellite of Iran, basically. You know, they are their own country, the Houthis, everything. But they're extreme fighters. Oh man, they're brave, the Houthis. And the United States has pounded the hell out of them there, and still they're firing missiles back at Israel. So what's going through my mind? I'm sitting here thinking, I'm saying to myself, well, if they pounded the hell out of the Houthis, and the Houthis are still firing missiles at Israel, what's to stop them from pounding the hell out of Iran? And Iran's still firing missiles and fighting back. Maybe more so, or maybe a lot more so. And the war continuing on. The war hasn't stopped with the Houthis. So I'm just thinking logically about this, and I'm saying, hey, this could be protracted, extended out to infinity with you pound the hell out of them and they fire back at you, and then you pound the hell out of them some more and they fire back at you. What does it cost to pound the hell out of them? What does it cost for each one of those individual things they fire at them to pound the hell out of them? Millions each. It's just like 5 minutes. They can fire off like $100 million worth of armaments, and then what does it do? Nothing. It just seems like it doesn't do a whole lot. To me, it just seems that way. It doesn't do a whole lot except cause a lot of misery to the world and increase the big fat paycheck for the ones who are making these things that they fire off and stuff. Ay. Now, there's this thing that's really got a lot of people upset and stuff. I guess the White House posted it. Did the White House post it? Who posted this image? I think I heard it was the White House. But anyway, it's an image of Trump sitting there looking like the Pope. That's an AI-produced image from what I understand. And they're saying, Trump for posting that image. Did Trump post it? Did he actually create and post that image? I don't think so. I think anybody could have created it with AI, or just AI created it. Where did the image come from? I don't know. So there's a lot of debate about this. I just don't know exactly what the ins and outs of it are. But, boy, AI is getting good. That looks like a real picture of him sitting there. Really looks like him. AI is getting very good at what they do. But, watching some AI films, and if you look around the mouth of the character, if they're like it's a film of somebody, and it's done by AI, if you look around the mouth, it's not quite right the way the mouth moves and stuff yet. AI hasn't quite got it yet, It's close. It's enough to fool a lot of people. But if you look close around the mouth when they're speaking, and if it's an AI generated character, it doesn't quite sync perfectly yet. Give AI another year or two, and this is desperately dangerous for the world, because if they do create a perfect image, they could basically, and people could use that to generate perfect images. They could fool everybody into thinking it's a real person talking or whatever, or saying things that they normally wouldn't say or whatever. Just think about that for a minute. And I've heard that AI can reproduce your voice almost perfectly. So anything that's like voice only, these scamsters could be out there, and your loved one calls you on the phone. They tell you, "Oh, my car's broken down. You got to wire me $200 or whatever," and it sounds just like them. And you're like, "Yeah, sure. Tell me where to send the money and stuff," because you think it's your loved one. It sounds just like them on the phone, but it's actually an AI trying to rip you off. Stuff like that AI could do. Uh, well, AI's not really doing it. Who's doing it is the perpetrator on the other side told AI to make whatever image it is or whatever phone call or whatever. The AI they're doing it, so it's people that's doing it. It's not really the AI. And so uh, anyway, how did I get straight off on this topic? Let's get back on track. Putin says he hopes there will be no need to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Well, this reminds me of the statement of Trump here. Trump says highly unlikely we'll use military force in Canada. So Putin says it's hopes there will be no need to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. But can't you read between the lines on all this stuff? It's kind of like they're letting you down easy, you know. Like your kids ate all the cookies, and you say, "Is there any cookies left?" Well, the kid says, "Well, maybe there's one." No, there ain't any. He ate them all. He's just trying to let you down easy. Anyway, uh, now this whole thing between Pakistan and Kashmir and India, Pakistan and India and Kashmir, uh, I do not think the two of these countries want to really get into a heated battle and have a nuclear war between them. I don't think they want to do that either side. I think what's going on now is India feels very upset about what happened. That's what I think. I think India's very, very upset about what happened. And I think that I don't think this is going to turn into a war. I mean, a nuclear war between the two countries. I don't think that's going to happen. But let's just go there. What if it did? What if it did? I don't. Now, listen, guys. I don't think. No way. I don't think this is going to turn into a nuclear war. I really don't. Between India and Pakistan. But what if it did? What would happen? Well, Pakistan's got about 170 thermonuclear warheads, from what I gather. And India's got about 170 or 170. I think they got a couple more than Pakistan, but it's right close. It's really close as far as the number of nuclear weapons. But now, what about the armies and stuff? Well, Pakistan's only about half as strong as India. Not even quite half as strong as India as far as their army's concerned. And so the Indian army and stuff, they went in there and attacked the Pakistani army. I think probably in about a week or 2 weeks, they would start to turn the tide on the Pakistan army, and that Pakistan would be in big trouble. That wouldn't be good. But what if it did turn into nuclear war? Well, India's got a four-line defense against the nuclear warheads that would be coming in at their country. But they talked about Pakistan launching one. If they even launch one, India said. But I don't think Pakistan will launch one. I don't think a country just launch one nuclear warhead because it's a philosophy of use it or lose it. So what if they launched them all, 170 at India? I think India could stop a lot. They got a four part system of defense, uh, of anti-missile defense. It's like a shield over India. Now, does Pakistan have such a shield? Because India's got just as many nuclear weapons. Well, if they launched them all at Pakistan, I'm just going to have to guess at this. I'm going to say that India would probably stop 90%, or maybe more. I don't think Pakistan would have as good of a ratio. I think that they would probably stop a few. Maybe they'd stop half. I don't know, but I think Pakistan would take the worst of it. That's my point. on it is I think if it did come down to a nuclear war, I think Pakistan would take the worst of it. Uh, I think India's line of defense would stop most of the Pakistani missiles. That's what I think. That's just my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. Uh, now, let's hope it doesn't come to that. I don't think it's going to. I think this whole thing is going to blow over. That's what I think. I think the thing between India and Pakistan is going to blow over in a few weeks. They're always this contended area up there around Kashmir. Really, really a contended area. Okay, so moving on, there's what the Dow did this week, and you saw what silver did, and this is not going to be good over the next few months. This thing is going to, I'm expecting it to be probably in a few months from now. They're going to have to step in at some point and lower those interest rates now. Take control over the long end of the yield curve. I think they're going to have to go into very accommodative monetary policy at the Fed in order to stem this off. And I think they're probably going to have to do some fiscal stimulus as well when this thing really gets rolling, because they're not doing nothing on this end. They're just letting this thing, like I say, like a runaway car rolling down the hill, and it's gaining speed. They got their opportunity to turn things around, but they're not taking it. They're not going to take it until it gets critical to the point where, hey, and then they're going to step in. And that's when we're really going to see inflation things move, because one of the things that's holding inflation back right now and causing disinflation is the fact that they did all this hauling their horns in on the economy. They did all this raising interest rates and quantitative tightening and everything else, you know. And tariffs helped a lot. It slows everything down tremendously, and it's a big added hidden tax that would tend to push an economy toward deflation. Well, just take a look at the Smoot-Hawley tariffs back during the Great Depression. They might not have caused the Great Depression, but they were definitely a contributing factor. So listen, thank you guys for listening to my show. You guys have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll catch you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.